It is time for another edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here, our Thursday edition at Quaker Steak and Lube, the place to be if you are coming on in for this wild, wonderful weekend of Penn State athletics. We'll delve into all of that as the program unfolds, but Quaker Steak and Lube, a great place to fuel up before heading out to any of the various Penn State sporting events or other sporting events, if you're going to those in and around the area, or to stop by for a post-game or post-match beverage or snack along the way. And again, of course, they have all of the TVs on, so you can also check out the sports action both around here and throughout this country of ours throughout the weekend right here at Quaker Steak and Lube. And, Penn State hockey. Quick, Goon, we got Geezy on this morning. First game ever at Beaver Stadium will be between who?
Well, I know the girls played last night, but girls play tomorrow. But State High plays Tuner tonight, right?
That is correct.
Because there was a game canceled last night, right?
State College and Altoona, 6:15 will be the first ever hockey game played at Beaver Stadium this evening. And then the women take on Robert Morris tomorrow. And, of course, the men with 67,000-ish on hand.
I did my part.
Will take on Michigan State on Saturday at 1 o'clock. I've seen some of the pictures of the folks doing the public skate from Wednesday. Pretty cool stuff. A lot of fun.
It's awesome.
Being had.
The whole aspect of it is great.
Yep,
it's like a winter wonderland. I mean, obviously, you didn't expect 0-degree temperatures, but it is what it is. I mean, you had to play with that, but just a cool environment, don't you think?
I think
the whole aspect of it.
Yep.
I don't care if it is minus 40 degrees. It's going to be fun.
Yes.
I really have that feeling.
Dress appropriately.
I did get a text today.
What is happening?
They are allowing blankets.
Weather-wise.
They still have the whole clear bag thing. You can bring your hand heaters, and you are allowed to bring blankets in. That's a little different in football.
The remarkable mercy of Penn State.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Penn State's not alone. It just, I mean, if people want to, well, whatever. Parking is still very much going to be costly and problematic. There's just no way around that. So know ahead of time what you're getting into. There's all kinds of information available on the websites. And depending on what event or events you're going to, if you know in advance, obviously that helps. With the one app, you can get in for, I think it's $5.60, under $6 anyway, whatever it is. And then with the Honk app, it's $10. For most of the events, of course, that is not the case. For the men's hockey game, it will be at least 4 times what you would otherwise be paying for parking, and could be up to more than 10 times what you normally pay.
Correct.
For parking.
$40 to $100 is what they're saying.
Saturday's game. So again, get your passes in advance would be the strong recommendation, and or prepare accordingly. Understand ahead of time what the situation is, both weather-wise, parking-wise, accommodations-wise. Both the hockey game tonight, the high school game with State College and Altoona, and the women's game tomorrow are free admission. Now, the parking, again, is still the parking, but admission for the hockey games tonight and tomorrow, free. Again, not the case for Saturday afternoon's 1 o'clock face-off at Beaver Stadium between the now 5th-ranked Nittany Lions and 2nd-ranked Spartans.
Bro, that's like the icing on top. It's like a top 5 matchup. You know what I mean? Usually, like, when these people have these like big games outside, they just want a patsy out there to go out and pummel around. No, this is a very, very, very big game for Penn State and Michigan State. And as we talked about on the other day, is there's not much love between these two programs, and it's been brewing for a few years. But then, as my lovely co-host said Tuesday, there's not much love between any Big Ten hockey teams. It's like.
That is true.
It's not like hockey's not one of those sports where like, hey, we're chummy with those guys, and no, it's a sport where you're going to go out there and I'm going to try to knock your head off, and you're going to try and knock my head off, and I'm going to try and put the biscuit in the basket, and we're going to go on with it. Yep. That's hockey. That's football. Football too. Wrestling too. You can be best friends, but you know what? When it comes to competition, it's on. And I expect a absolute wonderful game. Now, I've been reading about the weather-wise and stuff like that. And if anybody out there on our little comment sheet has been to the open skates, they look awesome. I go back to what I've told you years ago, Ironhead, and we laugh about it even when we have Guy on the show, Guy Godowski being the head hockey coach, and that is that hockey is my favorite sport. This is not a lie. I loved watching Flyers hockey in the 80s and 90s growing up. I have never one time in my life been on an ice skate, been on ice. I've walked at Greenberg Ice one time. Like I stepped on the ice to see what it felt like. And then I was like, big tree fall hard, get off the ice right now.
Yeah,
so
it's slippery as it turns out.
It's amazing. It really is. Ice is slippery.
Yes, that's your helpful hint today,
I've never been on ice. And Guy has always said he's going to take care of me and get me out there on the ice. And I'm like, actually, Guy, I don't want that. Because I'm 6'7", 6'5", after they keep on cutting me up here a little bit more and more. So I'm about 6'5" now. So that's a long way to fall with a lot of padding and a lot of weight behind it falling. And I just feel like I'd break an elbow, a shoulder, a head, something. Something would go.
I have tried my best over the years to do exactly that. Somehow I've avoided actual broken bones, but
you fall.
Yeah.
I don't think I need to go to an open skate with elbow pads on and a helmet. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm going to draw the line. I'll sit on the side and wave to the Ironhead. Hey, Jeff, good job. Yay, good job. Wonderful. You look great. You look like Sidney Crosby out there, Jeff.
Yes, indeed. That's exactly what I thought.
So, actually, Guy Godowski's response to me getting skates, he goes, well, we could probably just sharpen up a skate box, maybe, because that might fit your feet.
Go. Yeah,
because I guess he was trying to tell me that 15 in hockey is not a 15 in football cleats. You wear a size or two below to make them a little snugger.
Makes sense.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've never done it. I mean, honest to God, you grew up did it a little bit, right? You've skated before?
I've skated, yeah.
Like open skates or like growing up and stuff like that?
Yeah, both. Yeah. The last time I went was probably, I'm trying to think. It must have been pre-pandemic. So I'm going to say 2019 or 2020. And took my little brother from the Big Brother, Big Sisters program up. And it was rough, Goon, because that was probably my first time on the ice in well over 10 years, maybe more in the 15 neighborhood, and that was a rough episode. I'm like, I might be good for a while. Now I do have somewhere, I think over at my parents' house, I still have.
You got skates?
Yeah, we have skates because they have a pond, and when it freezes over, again. Quite a while ago, we would go out skating from time to time, and I mean it was fun. The last time I think I was on the pond, both skates kicked out from under me at the same time, and I mean I landed flat on my head, on the back of my head. And I really did think I might have cracked it open, and I'm like, it took me a moment to kind of, all right, do I have my vision? Do I have my wits about me? And my nephews were up, and at the time, they must have been, I mean, they were young, maybe Reggie's age now, 10 and 8, or in that neighborhood. Yes. And I'm like, all right, I can't let them know that I am
Never let him see you
not
hurt.
100% sure if I still have my faculties. So I just got up and I'm kind of laughing. I'm like, all right, is there any blood coming out of the back of my head? No, it doesn't feel like it. All right.
Am I called the
I think
ER?
we're okay. So, skating is
I have to tell the story,
not
Jeffrey.
for the faint of heart. I will tell you that. Yeah.
I have to tell the story.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Said Russian babushka hat. You know, the
Yes.
flap down, all that stuff. You can try it on. It is pure. That's Russian writing, everything inside of it and all.
I love it.
The story is this. So
there has to be a story.
In the 90s, a man came over from Russia who used to supply the Russian, we don't know if it was the army or the police, with the babushka hats, the big old hats, the big, farming hats, whatever. So he came to the United States, had cases of them, became a huge Penn State fan. Now, this is back Soviet Union stuff. This isn't like Russia.
Right.
This is Soviet Union stuff. So the writing in here, everything is authentic Russian stuff like that. So all he did was take the Russian sickle sticker out of here, and he pinned in a Penn State sticker, or not a Penn State, but a Penn State pin.
That is pretty.
And he came to Penn State, and he dropped off 2 cases of these for the football staff. Now, this was in 1992 or 1993, because obviously the Soviet fell in 91, so this guy was getting out of Dodge. So when the Paterno-Sandusky situation happened in 2011 and everybody got fired out of there, before everybody left, I made sure I walked through the rooms and I took 2 of them.
There you go.
I took my mutant-sized one that no one else could wear because they used to laugh at how big it was. But for some reason, it fits my head perfect. Then I have a second one of those.
I love it.
Of which I gave to Guy Godowski to wear during this week.
Perfect.
He says, Goon, if I can't wear it in the game, I'm going to wear it at practice. He sent me a picture last night, and sure as hell he's wearing it in the practice.
I love it.
He goes, Goon, this thing is warm as hell. And I said, well, that's a Russian black bear, baby.
Yes.
100% bear. So I'm going to sweep tomorrow.
Cool.
So if anybody wants to borrow that,
Saturday.
Let me know. Let me know.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So,
again, Saturday 1:00 is the men's hockey game. The highlight of what is a really big Penn State sports weekend. Of course, wrestling will take on Nebraska at the Jordan Center tomorrow night. That'll be an 8:00 match. Some really good, intriguing individual matchups in that one. We'll probably talk a little bit about that as the show unfolds. Again, women's hockey at Beaver Stadium tomorrow, and then they'll be in Pagola Saturday night. Of course, the men will be in Pagola tomorrow night, and then Beaver Stadium Saturday afternoon. Men's basketball, which will try to get that first Big Ten win of the season tonight at Northwestern.
That's a big game.
Will then be home with Minnesota on Sunday at 2 at the Jordan Center. Sunday at 1, a big-time men's gymnastics meet with Penn State and Illinois at Rec Hall. That should be very entertaining. We also have Penn State men's volleyball hosting Hawaii Friday and Saturday evening in Rec Hall. Penn State track and field teams will be in action, and they are putting up some very impressive numbers here in the indoor season. They'll be at the multi-sport facility, and they'll actually be kind of kicking everything off tomorrow around 11 a.m. Competition will get underway there. So lots to see and do.
It's a great weekend.
Yeah,
I love that we're doing this.
Swimming and diving, tennis also home over the course of the weekend. So, again, you can go to the Penn State website, gopsusports.com, get all the details, including the bubble will be open if you're looking for a
memorabilia sale.
Place.
I just saw today.
Yeah, there will be all kinds of food and beverages, place to get warmed up a little bit. If you're up there for any of these other events, you can check that out. And yes, all kinds of.
I thought about this.
Yeah. Merchandise available as well. Yeah.
We're going to have a lot of merchandise to get rid of, don't you think? Going to Mr. Adidas?
Well, probably.
Yeah. I was thinking about that. I was like, they're going to have to get rid of all of their Nike stuff, all of it. Bags, hats, gloves.
Yeah,
underwears,
it is funny.
jocks.
Yeah, and moving forward, you've got to make sure you have the right Penn State gear on.
Hell
if
no.
you're an athlete, you absolutely do.
Oh, as an athlete, yes.
You better believe it. You absolutely
I thought you meant as a
do.
slap fan. I'm like,
No,
I wear whatever
you
fits
absolutely. It is no, you have the wrong thing on. They're gonna either etch it out, which obviously nowadays you can do. But yeah, they can't have their athletes in the wrong gear, athletes or coaches anymore. So that's just another thing to add to the plate of the support staff, the folks that have to. All right, let's make sure
everything.
This is good. This is good.
Go back down to the Alumni
Association.
If they have a Penn
shirt.
State, if they have a Nike jacket, they can't use that anymore.
Yeah. So again, it's just going to be a really fun weekend. A lot of great opportunities to get up and enjoy some Penn State sports, and I think we're going to have a few folks in town.
I think they're doing
weekend.
some kind of deal where you can get 2 of the 3 games, either the wrestling match and the hockey game, wrestling and basketball, wrestling. You can
or all 3. Yeah, all 3 you get an even bigger deal.
It's a really good. Again, I go back to this. This has always been a dead weekend. The week between the Super Bowl and the NFC AFC title game. It's always been a dead weekend. We got Fallon coming up in a couple of weeks, and I love the fact that they zeroed in on this and said, okay, we need to make this our winter expo. And it's great. It's a great deal. I know they're going to lose money because of the snow removal and all that they had to do this past week. But I think the fact that they did it, you know who's looking at this? The NHL. The NHL is looking at that and saying, how do they do with this ice and stuff like that? Can we put the Sabres, Flyers, and Penguins, a combination of those 2? Can we get that out there at Beaver Stadium? Because that has been a huge thing for 20-some years. We've been talking about it.
Well, I hope you're right. I hope they're looking at that and saying, "Yep,
we can't have a show here." You know that, right? We cannot have a show if the Flyers are playing the Penguins in. Like, I got to go to a I got to go to a Philly bar. You got to go to a Pirates or a Penguins bar.
That would be wild.
I've always said this. Like, Calder Alley is like the line of demarcation. You stay on that side of Calder, we'll stay on this side of Calder, and then we meet like the Sharks and the Jets.
Yep. Let the good times roll.
Absolutely, man. So, yes, Pat, Vinny, Guy, great job. And all the winter sports people, Kale and his crew, Rhodes and his crew, they've done a great job getting this up and rolling with the punches, with i.e. being the weather the way it is right now. They've done a heck of a job with this.
Yeah. I saw and I didn't really read through it that much, but I know there are some fans, wrestling fans, that are not happy with the way the tickets are being offered
the Big Ten
up for the Big Ten championships, which will be at the Bryce Jordan Center, because Nittany Lion Club members are being afforded the same opportunity as season ticket holders. I'm just going to tell you, I understand disappointment and frustration, and I understand the initial knee-jerk, oh, man, it's just about money. Well, yeah, you know what? At the end of the day, welcome to the real world. It is all about money, always has been. And so, yes, again, put yourself – I do think that athletic departments in general and Pat Kraft and Penn State in particular here, that they struggle. I mean, they understand the importance of the everyday fan. They do. They are also looking at a budget that is ever growing. And if you see, what's happening with Rutgers athletics right now,
crazy.
So. Yeah, it is ultimately about the money, and I don't know how much Penn State's going to make on the weekend overall this coming weekend, or from the Big Ten championships. But yeah, when you have an opportunity to get big time events, you do need to try to capitalize on it. And if you have programs that are winning, I mean, again, always that's been the case. You've got to put money into it, even more so these days. And you've got to figure out a way to keep everybody as happy as you can. And you're never going to keep everybody happy. But, I mean, you've got to keep your coaches happy. Hey, yep, we're investing in your program to make it big time. You got to keep your student athletes happy now by directly investing in them, but also all of the things that come with it, the food, the facilities, everything else, the clothing, all of that stuff, the opportunity to market yourself. And yeah, they want it to be a good experience for the fans. They want to reach as many fans as they can. But again, if a fan is giving millions, and we do have fans that are doing that, well, you can't say, yeah, thanks for the millions, and we're going to treat you like everybody else. Right? Like that. I mean, that makes no sense. That, yes, if you're giving millions, you're going to get some additional perks and some opportunities here. And I get it as far as it goes. And well, I've been here and I've been supporting the program for 50, 60 years. And it is great. It is appreciated. It should be recognized, but also, especially for the programs that are winning, the hockey, football, wrestling right now, like you've got to figure out a way to literally capitalize on your opportunity as an athletic department. And again, try to figure out a way to also be as fair as you reasonably can with those long-term, everyday fans. It is not an easy world to navigate, and I do think there's a lot more time spent trying to figure this stuff out than probably the average fan or even media member realizes, because again, they recognize, yeah, you want those generational fans who don't have the millions to spend.
Correct.
They don't have the hundrers to spend. Like they're figuring out
season ticket holders and they're there
weekend
every week.
And I can come up for a event here or there. Well, you want those fans, you do, but also the lifeblood of your program is going to be the supporters that can generate the revenue for your program, your coaches, your athletes.
I have 3 friends of the people that are in my suite. 3 of them, I'm going to say that I have a crew of 8 coming in from home. 3 are diehard non-Penn State fans who would never come here without something like this going on. And I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to go into that stadium on Saturday, look around and go, holy crap, I need to come back here for a football game. And this is what you're doing. You're expanding people's horizons and getting more people here and showing what a great place Penn State is and the State College area is, that they're going to want to come back. Like, hey, I want to come back when it's not 1 degree outside and we can watch a football game. It'd be pretty cool. Hey, can we come up? And I say, yes, you can. So, I mean, you're right. There is a lifeblood, and that is the donors. But, the lifeblood is also the 64,999 other people who are season ticket holders who, like we've talked in the past, like some of these people, like a bowl trip is their vacation. Like that's how diehard they are in the Penn State. And that's the fan that we have, that we love. And that's where we should never lose. And I hope that we never lose. So, again, this weekend is a good opportunity for Penn State to expand their horizons, pick up some new fans, and, it's going to show a lot of people a lot of stuff that we could do this in the wintertime. I mean, right? I mean, am I wrong in thinking the NHL is looking at this going, okay, this is a good trial run for us to look at?
Let's hope.
Yeah.
Let's hope that is the case.
And by the way, do you know how lucky South Florida is getting? Because we talked on Tuesday, like, players know how to play outside. That's fine. They've been doing that their whole life. They have not played in 80-degree weather, which is going to happen in South Beach and in Tampa this Saturday. Oh, wait, there's an Arctic blast coming down. The Canadian weather is going to help the Canadian boys out a little bit. They're talking about being in the 40s in Florida.
Which is perfect.
Which is perfect for them. So it all worked out for them. So.
Yeah, that that worked out beautifully, as it turns out.
And we're talking wrestling after the break, right? Because I want to get into this. I want to get your, because I'm out at 3.
Yep.
And then Booch is coming in.
Yeah, Booch will join
I'm
us for the
half-assing
final
today,
hour.
Jeffrey. Half-assing.
You've got very, very important assignments to take care of this afternoon.
Very true.
We certainly understand that and do not begrudge you the opportunity to take care of the business you need to take care of this afternoon.
Yes, sir. Have we wrestling this weekend? Have you heard any kind of numbers on ticket sales?
I have not heard any official on.
What is the number
the
for the wrestling sellout at BJ? It goes to like 18, does it not?
No.
Okay. I thought they have seats around.
No, 16. They cannot. You will not see a number, at least officially listed, at 16 or above. So, 15,999 would be possible at the Bryce Jordan Center for wrestling.
Sales are pretty good, though, you know?
But,
or no?
I can't imagine they wouldn't be. Nebraska's ranked 5th. Penn State, of course, number 1. And with the number of folks coming in now, there's also a lot of activities going on. Obviously, you've got hockey over at Pagola tomorrow night as well. And, so some people are going to be picking and choosing. I would think they'll at least be close, if not sold out for the Penn State-Nebraska meet.
Okay.
The one thing that, might be working slightly against the wrestling program is having the 3 Jordan Center duels this year. But, again, these 2 last ones, I mean, you're talking about Nebraska, which finished 2nd in the nation last year and is 5th right now, but coming off a nail-biter of a dual meet with 2nd-ranked Ohio State, where the Buckeyes needed an overtime win from their heavyweight to pull out the victory. So, I mean, Nebraska is coming on, and then the aforementioned Buckeyes will be here in Happy Valley at the Jordan Center on February 13th. And, so it's 2 great opportunities to see college wrestling at its best. And, not quite as unique as the hockey at Beaver Stadium, but this is it's a special atmosphere.
Unique. You said the kids love it, right?
The wrestling is at the Jordan Center. They just, I will say, the Jordan Center staff has it down to a science now. I mean, it feels like a big-time sporting event with the fire. Coming out as the kids come out of the tunnel, the music blaring. I mean, everything about it just has a big-time feel. They have the raised raised platform for the mat, similar to what you see at the NCAAs. And so, again, they've really pretty well perfected the show part of the dual meet experience at the Bryce Jordan Center. And it should be a whole lot of fun tomorrow night. And Nebraska is a really good team, and Mark Manning has that program competing at a very high level right now.
Again, Mr. Novice wrestling fan, I do know, and I notice that the Nebraska wrestlers in last year's dual Big Tens and in Nationals, they did very, very well, and they weren't jerks. They were like a cool team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They weren't like Iowa where you're looking at them like, I want to punch them in the face. Now, they picked up Ferrari, so I don't know if I want to punch somebody in the face or not. So
there you go.
So, I got a question. When did he start wrestling heavyweight?
This year.
Okay.
Yep.
I was going to say, is he still at the 189 weight level? 197, excuse me?
No, he
actually has put some chunks on, huh?
So football schedule coming out on Tuesday, and a couple of different places now I've seen that they're ranking the strength of the schedules. And Penn State has either the easiest or the second easiest schedule in the Big Ten, depending on who you want to believe. Penn State, of course, will open up Big Ten play at home. Have to think Pat Kraft's talk with the conference has something to do with that. No?
Yeah.
Penn State will open up at home against Wisconsin on September 26th. And then the game that I think most of us, right, we want to be the whiteout is the USC game on October 10th.
Pause. When will homecoming be? There's only one October game, Jeffrey.
Well, there's two October games. You have Purdue at the end of the month, which is Halloween Day, October 31st, which might serve nicely.
I take it back there. I apologize.
As a homecoming opportunity. The big game at Washington. A lot of people wanting to get out there and see Husky Stadium.
And it's my birthday, Jeff, so thank you for the gift.
That will be November 7th.
Thank you for the gift.
Probably a little bit later than would have been ideal, right? I think October seems like maybe a little better. Early October, if you had the option to just draw it up.
So Edmund said,
but not bad. November 7th, not bad.
Edmund said in regards to the sailgate, he goes, November 7th, that's a cold weather game. I said, we're not swimming in it, bro. I want to float on it.
That's the hope.
Drunk.
That is the hope. And then Rutgers will be November 21st. And we'll see. I'm not sure what to make of Michigan this year. I mean, on paper, and if you go with perennial powers, like that would be the 2-game stretch that would jump out to you. October 10th, home with USC, October 17th at Michigan. And then they have the bye week and then the home game with Purdue. But again, Northwestern has a very tough schedule. Ohio State has a very tough schedule in the conference. We just don't know what this Penn State team is going to look like. And really, for that matter, I guess we don't know what some of these other programs are going to look like really just yet in the upcoming season in terms of who's ultimately going to be playing. Obviously, injuries can always impact this as well. But, in terms of, all right, well, how's everything coming together with the recruits, the returning players, and the transfer guys? And, does that it obviously is going to mesh better at some places than others, but could you get a team, a program that surprises one or the other? Yeah. Penn State certainly surprised last year in the not so good way. And, even though Indiana was projected to be up there in the Big Ten, they weren't projected to be up there in the Big Ten.
They went there.
That's, again, part of the fun of sports. We'll make our predictions. We'll take our crack at it, and then we'll see how everything actually.
Rather crazy, 18 teams, how watered down the schedule is getting.
Yes. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we will talk a little Penn State Wrestling, Nittany Lions, and Cornhuskers doing battle again tomorrow night in an 8 o'clock start at the Bryce Jordan Center. We're coming right back after this time out on Sports Radio 98.7.
From decorating the tree to family dinners, gift exchanges, and get-togethers, the holidays are filled with traditions. Why not start a new one this year with a Kia during the Season of New Tradition sales event at Lion Country Kia? No matter where you're traveling this holiday season, the spacious 7-seater 2025 Kia Telluride can get you there. Lion Country Kia has 16 available with as low as 0.9% APR for up to 60 months or up to $2,000 in Kia finance rebates. But that's not all. Lion Country Kia has a great selection of Kia Sorentos, Sportages, Seltos, and more. There's 84 vehicles ready to move. And many have Kia's Season of New Tradition sales event retail bonus cash as high as $1,000. Happy holidays from the staff at Lion Country Kia, 1334 Drywood Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club State College.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again.
The Fox, your sports radio. Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority. WFXS America. 98.7, The Fox, State College.
And back here on a Thursday afternoon ahead of the weekend of sports craziness here in the Valley of Happiness. Again, highlighted by the Beaver Stadium hockey game between Penn State and Michigan State Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. But a lot of over the course of the weekend. Penn State Wrestling, of course, remains number one in the Intermat rankings this week. 6 wrestlers still ranked number one in their weight classes. Also, the coaches rankings, the inaugural coaches rankings came out today. Penn State has 5 wrestlers, number one in the coaches rankings. And I think all 10 wrestlers are in the top 10 in the coaches ranking. And of course, in the Intermat, both Braden Davis and Cole Marasola are 12th. But both are in the top 10. I think Marasola is actually 9th in the coaches rankings and Davis 10th. I'll double check that here in just a bit. But yeah, I mean, obviously it is
They're both wrestling much better. Even I can say that. They're both wrestling really good right now.
Davis and Marasola, yeah, for sure. Yeah, yes. I really, the whole team, although I will say Nebraska, I had a chance to go back and watch the Nebraska-Ohio State duel from Sunday, and Nebraska is much improved from where they were at the start of the season. Just feels like they're kind of catching their stride and looking much closer to the team that finishes the runner-up a year ago. And again, it's a really solid top to bottom lineup that Nebraska has. And, you know, I think it's going to be similar to the Iowa duel in terms of it'll be a lot of competitive, hard fought bouts. You would think, at least looking at it on paper, Penn State will win most of them. But, certainly Iowa will be favored at 41 in heavyweight. The two, Braden Davis will be an underdog to Brock Hardy, and Cole Mirasola an underdog to A.J. Ferrari. Although, both of them are wrestling, I think they're going to be right there. And I'm really curious to see. To me, for Cole, it's going to be a lot about strategy and staying disciplined for 7 minutes, which is not easy to do. I thought Rocco Welsh did a tremendous job of that when he took on Angelo Ferrari out at Iowa. Just, again, wrestled a really smart match, and I think Cole Mirasola is going to need to do that as well against Ferrari to be able to pull out the victory. I think a lot of folks dialing in on the Antrell Taylor PJ Duke bout. Duke beat him in freestyle back over the summer, but Taylor, national champion a year ago, ranked 5th right now, but certainly a guy that is capable of beating anyone in the country, and have to believe they'll both be fired up for that opportunity here on Friday night. And again, there's a lot of other really good matches. Chris Minto, I'm really impressed with the way he's wrestling this year. I think he's right now ranked 4th at 74. Obviously, Levi Haynes is Levi Haynes. You don't worry about the effort you're going to get from him, but that has a chance to be a really entertaining and fun match to watch. And again, up and down the lineup, I think it'll be a very competitive dual meet in terms of bout by bout. But if Penn State can pull an upset at either 41 or heavyweight and can hold serve, again, the ultimate dual score could look similar to what the Nittany Lions were able to put up on the board out at Iowa City earlier this year. But it's going to be a fun duel.
Yes, it will be.
And hopefully what do you compare a whole lot of fans?
Where do you put Iowa versus Nebraska? Because that's two. Ohio State is up there. So I guess I've never asked you this. Of the three, where are they ranked?
Well, I mean, this year, Ohio State is, to this point, and they now have 2 wins over Nebraska. Now, again, Nebraska was right there. I mean, if Ferrari wins his bout, correct, Nebraska wins the duel. That being said, Brandon Cannon, the top-ranked 57-pounder, was out of the lineup for Ohio State, and Nebraska took advantage, getting a major decision there. Not that Antrell Taylor couldn't have picked up a decision against Cannon anyway, but unlikely he gets the bonus point there. So, I think they're right there. Tournament-wise, I think it would be very close. I would probably lean very slightly in Nebraska's favor, just with the way their guys are trending versus the way a couple of the Iowa kids are trending. Now, again, we still have another month to go. Trends can change, certainly. And regardless of trends, what you actually do in the tournament can be different too. And we've seen that over the years for a team that, hasn't been wrestling lights out, just has a terrific tournament, or vice versa. A team that's been terrific all year, has a couple of kids that get upset early, and all of a sudden, from a team scoring standpoint, they kind of go off the rails. So right now, tournament-wise, to me, it would be Penn State 1, Ohio State 2, and I'm not sure I wouldn't put Nebraska 3 right now. I think dual meet-wise, I probably would still slightly lean Iowa even now, but I just think there's more potential big scores for Nebraska at the NCAA tournament and really for Oklahoma State. And that's going to be interesting, too, to see. The way it works at NCAA is the top 4 teams get trophies. So, you recognize the top 4 programs. So you have, at least those 5, and there's a couple of others that are probably capable of getting in the mix there for a top 4 finish tournament-wise. at NCAAs as well. And it is going to be interesting to see how that all shakes out. But if Nebraska stays healthy, I think they've got a real shot here of being a top 3 program. But I think it's going to be at the NCAA tournament. I think it's going to be Penn State, a little distance, Ohio State, a little distance, and then it's going to be a 3 to 5 team slugfest, I think, for that 3 through 7 or 8
Did you say
spot.
only 4 teams get trophies?
Yeah, at NCAAs.
I didn't know that because I got a great picture of Flinney when he was in Edinburgh. He was sleeping in bed with one of the trophies, and they finished in the top 4?
Yeah, they finished 3rd the one year.
Holy crap, Flinney.
Yeah, with
where'd he go, Timmy boy?
Yeah. No,
I got the picture and I was like, wow. I figured like 8th or 9th place, maybe the top 10.
No.
I figured maybe 8 because of the All-Americans is 8 and stuff like that, right?
No, top 4.
That's cool.
Yeah, you got to be a top 4 team to get trophy at NCAAs. But Big Tens again coming to the Bryce Jordan Center, and then NCAAs at Cleveland. So from a postseason convenience standpoint, you're never going to get a more convenient postseason than this one for Penn State fans, where, again, grand total, you're going to have to travel 4 hours.
We just booked our hotel the other day,
from Happy Valley. For Cleveland?
Akron.
There you go.
That's where it finally started getting reasonably priced.
Yes.
So the NCAA and now the hotels have caught on to the NCAA wrestling. Because the last time we were in Cleveland, it was rather subdued hotel-wise, price-wise. And now they realize, wow, there's a bunch of maniacs who come into town here and they get hammered drunk. They get jacked up and drink Coors Light and Michelob Ultra out the wazoo. And they better jack those prices up in those hotel rooms. And they did.
Yeah.
So now we're spending money on a bigger van to transport the crew of us in. Unbelievable, though. Money, buddy. Money.
Yeah, it is. They were talking. It is amazing how much that has changed, and in terms of, like, if you're going to a professional sporting event, and really, I guess, big time college sporting event, but they were talking about this on Fox Sports last weekend, and they were talking about it in regard to the NFL playoffs, but then they broadened it out, and it's like even these called cheap seats at a Major League Baseball game, when you factor in parking, programs, ticket costs, concessions,
wine,
right? Like, it is
dogs.
It is a really, even if you're kind of going the cheapest route you can, if you're doing all of those things, and again, if you are somebody that is like going to a Major League Baseball game or an NFL game is a big deal, right? It's like a once a year, maybe even just once a couple of years type thing.
Yep.
So you're wanting to get the experience, and even if you're, struggling financially, you're like, yeah, but if we're going to go and it's only going to be once a year, once every couple of years, yeah, you want to get the program, you want to get, something to commemorate it, you want to get the feel of eating a hot dog in the ballpark, all of those things. It is really, really hard to keep that under 100, maybe impossible these days to keep that under 100 for the day. And again, it can be much more expensive depending on the city you're in, how well the team's doing, and obviously all of the prices that go accordingly. And it just is it's tough. And I think it's, the other part of it is now everything virtually is accessible either on TV or through streaming. And sometimes, there's costs involved with that, depending on the various plans. But the cost is certainly cheaper for all of the different things you can see with those plans than going to an event in person. And it is going to be interesting to see if they do have to make some adjustments moving forward, or if they don't. It's like, it doesn't really matter Again, you look at a lot of NFL stadiums, especially that second half of the year when the weather starts to get a little worse and you start to realize, my team's probably not making the playoffs. There's a lot of empty seats in those stadiums. Now, a lot of the seats are still sold, that they're still paid for. I get it. But part of it, right, is you still want it to be a big-time experience and feel for the fans that are there and for the players and coaches. And, again, maybe that's not as important. I don't know if there's a player out there that it's like, oh, yeah, no, I'd take a couple 100,000 less if we could just get a great atmosphere here. No, they're good. But it does, I don't know. That game day experience, again, I still love it. I still prefer it. But I will say, as I'm getting older, the winters hit me a little differently. Like, if we didn't have my kiddo has a wrestling tournament on Saturday, so I'm not going to the hockey game. If he didn't have that tournament, I got to tell you, Goon, I'm kind of like 50-50. Like, I know it'd be a really cool experience, and I would love to see it. And also, I can still see it. I can still get some of the experience on the TV, and I'm not having to deal with the $40 to $100 parking. I'm not having to worry about if my kiddo's too cold. All of the things that come with it. Yeah, it's just, again, this one's a special because it's a unique opportunity. First time you can do anything, that's obviously always going to be kind of special. And I think people want to do it. But like if this becomes somewhere down the road an annual event or a biannual event, does it just depend on the success of the program? Does it depend just on the success and the weather? Does it depend, or is it, it's still a cool experience and we're going to keep rolling with it? But I don't know. It's interesting. Again, different people have different. I mean, there are people that hate the game day experience anyway. It's like, it's too loud. It's too, too crowded. I don't like crowds. So people stay home. But for those that do like the experience, generally, I do wonder if kind of how you weigh all that stuff out now. It's like, I like it, but also I like keeping a little more money in my pocket, and I can still see it.
Just the hotels
on the TV or on the streaming.
So somebody
service
comes from outside, a 4-hour window, because again, it's not a day trip. It's just this age-old problem with basketball. It's not a day trip from Philadelphia or Pittsburgh or New York or New Jersey or Maryland or D.C. It's a. But then now they make you spend 2 nights in football. You have to. Well, spend
that's
2
another.
Nights. So before you're even out of pocket, before you even eat anything or drink anything, your tickets in your hotel rooms for 4 people are already over close to 3 G's. It's 2,500, 2 G's. Well, so let's say we'll go say low, 2 G's. Before you eat or drink a thing, and you got 4 people to eat and drink. Like, that's a lot.
That's a whole lot. Yeah.
A lot. And you can see where people get, like you say, donor fatigue. You're going to have spectator fatigue here soon if they keep on charging and charging. But with this weekend, I just think it's a one-time thing.
For sure.
Once a year thing where it's going to be awesome. Where, like, my friends at home, my family at home, they come to one football game a year. I mean, they're too far away to be, and they have younger kids, so they can't really do the every weekend thing. They will when the kids are out of school and they're empty nesting, I think. But until then, it is what it is. But I love what we're doing here. I love it. We got a great weekend here. It's going to be so much fun. Got a lot of people coming in. Like I said, I got people coming in who would never, ever step foot into Penn State. And I thought about it. The one guy is a rabid, crazy Notre Dame fan. And he goes, bro, I don't have anything Penn State. I guess I got to buy a Penn State hockey jersey. And I know, I'm not dumb. Those things are expensive. Yeah. How many of those guys are there going to be here this weekend? If they sell 1,000 jerseys at $100, a lot of money, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. Yeah. And I think 1,000 jerseys being sold is a very low one because those jerseys are freaking sweet. I hope they're selling them. I know that they're auctioning the players' worn ones off.
Yeah.
For not Thon. It's another charity that the hockey team is part of.
Yeah, again, just all kinds of great opportunities over the course of the weekend. And maybe check out some of the other game day stuff if you've never seen a men's gymnastics
track and field have a big
track
thing.
And field,
You're
swimming,
there.
diving, tennis. Why not just swing by, check it out if you've never been to a wrestling match. It'd be a pretty cool one to see. If you haven't been to a basketball game yet this year, a great opportunity there on Sunday.
2-game win streak going.
Hopefully they get their largest crowd of the season for that matchup with the Golden Gophers on Sunday. And speaking of TV, again, Penn State will be part of the Friday Night Wrestling triple header on the Big Ten Network. Penn State will be the middle match of the 3 matches. That'll be tomorrow night on the Big Ten Network. Again, the Nittany Lions taking on the Cornhuskers at 8 o'clock in the Jordan Center. It'll be Wisconsin and Ohio State. Wisconsin's actually having a very nice season to this point, leading it off. And then that'll be at 6. And then at 10 o'clock, it'll be the Indiana at Illinois dual meet. Again, that'll be on the Big Ten Network tomorrow night. But Nebraska and Penn State will be the highlight of that Friday night triple header on the Big Ten Network. And Nittany Lions looking for an 83rd consecutive dual meet victory, and now closing in on the longest unbeaten streak in NCAA wrestling history. Both Iowa and Oklahoma State at separate times, obviously, went 84 matches without a loss. Both had ties in there, but both went 84 with no losses. And Penn State now 3 wins away from setting that record to add to the long list of records they are breaking.
Big weekend, buddy. Enjoy and have fun. That was awesome.
Excuse me. Again, Chris Buganani will join us, the Booch, in the second hour of today's program. The Dear Goon heading up to take
some work. I got some work to do.
Very important work ahead of time before the big opportunity here.
These sweets don't stock themselves, guys.
Saturday. So last year, time made. Anniversary donation. Penn State's now recognizing anniversary donations for the Nittany Lion Club. Yeah, again, I get it as far as it goes, and it's money is what makes the world go round, and
especially college.
They have got to. It is a big money business. I mean, again, it always has been, but more so now than ever before. And again, if you're Pat Kraft, you better be looking at that bottom line and kind of figuring out, all right, this is what we need to do. This is how we can make this work for all of our programs. And, part of it is you're trying to get the non-revenue programs to be as close to revenue programs as you can. And trying to figure out ways to cut the losses there anyway with those programs as you look to try to keep those sports around and involved at the highest levels possible moving forward. All right, we're going to take a break here again. The Dear Booch, Chris Buganani, will join us on the other side of this timeout. You're listening to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show from Quaker Steak and Lube here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox.
From decorating the tree to family dinners, gift exchanges, and get-togethers, the holidays are filled with traditions. Why not start a new one this year with a Kia during the Season of New Tradition sales event at Lion Country Kia? No matter where you're traveling this holiday season, the spacious 7-seater 2025 Kia Telluride can get you there. Lion Country Kia has 16 available with as low as 0.9% APR for up to 60 months or up to $2,000 in Kia finance rebates. But that's not all. Lion Country Kia has a great selection of Kia Sorentos, Sportages, Seltos, and more. There's 84 vehicles ready to move. And many have Kia's Season of New Tradition sales event retail bonus cash as high as $1,000. Happy holidays from the staff at Lion Country Kia, 1334 Driveover Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club State College.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again.
Your sports radio. Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority. WFXS America.
98.7 The Fox State College.
And we are back on this Thursday afternoon ahead of the winter wonderland of sports here in Happy Valley coming up this weekend. Again, Penn State basketball tonight, looking for the first Big Ten victory of the season as the Nittany Lions face a Northwestern team that has a very similar record, very similar feel, albeit with a Big Ten win already under their belt. See if they can get a win tonight and then maybe actually build a little momentum here, dear Booch, on Sunday when Minnesota comes calling to wrap up this busy weekend of sports. How are you doing, Booch?
I'm great, Ironhead, and I hope you can do the same. You've been a long-time follower, like myself, of Penn State men's basketball. Do you remember back in the late 90s and early 2000s when ESPN had the Big Ten basketball contract. And there were only 11 teams in the conference at that time. And ESPN was contractually obligated to air at least one game from every member school in the Big Ten once during the season on ESPN or on ESPN2. Do you remember the classic Wednesday night
every time
Penn State Northwestern kill two birds with one stone games?
Sure do.
They were like, hey, does it say here we can get two for one? It says we got to air one game from each school. So here it is. It's on ESPN2. It's at like 9:00 on a Wednesday night. It's Penn State versus Northwestern men's basketball. Boom, we're done.
Yep. And for all that has changed in the Big Ten, Indiana winning national titles in football, Nebraska contending for a Big Ten title, maybe a national title in basketball.
That's
Here we
wild,
are, Booch. It's Penn State and Northwestern at the bottom of the Big Ten men's basketball standings. It is wild. And Nebraska, I watched a little bit of a good bit of that Michigan game. Man, they should have had that one. Just went completely cold the last whatever it was 3.5 minutes or so, and kind of let that one get away. But also in that process, I think showed that they are, for those that had any doubts. I mean, you'd think 20-0 would be pretty convincing, but maybe showed as much in that loss as to how much they really do belong in the national conversation here.
Yeah, no question.
With that, as anything else they've done.
In a sport like basketball, where the regular season doesn't have a whole lot riding on it from game to game, even the big games really, only carry you so far because so much of it is about where you fall in the tournament seedings. And so as long as you can be competitive in your conference tournament and put together a good win-loss record at the end of the year, then it's just kind of luck of the draw. And so it's not like if you lose one big game, it does the damage to your season that even in the 12-team era of college football, it maybe does to your resume. I think for a school like Nebraska that doesn't have much history in the sport, up against a program like Michigan, which, obviously has just this overall sterling brand plus a pretty good basketball tradition, to have a loss like that where you prove both to the country and the selection committee and to yourselves that you belong on the floor with a team like Michigan. Normally, I'm not a moral victories guy overall. I think that may actually, if they go on and have a lot of success here, you can look back at this game and say that was a step forward for Nebraska because Michigan's been blowing people off the court this year. And for Nebraska to be able to hang with them to the end of the fight, kind of like Rocky versus Apollo at the end of the first movie, it's sort of the same deal. You were a winner because you were in it at the end.
Booch, I'm a little curious to see one of the things about the upcoming weekend that I'm just I'll just be interested to see and kind of follow. So Matt Campbell, obviously hired as Penn State's new head coach, has been very busy, obviously on the recruiting front, getting his coaches and roster together and all of that. We really have not heard from him or seen from him, the general public here. And again, understandably, that's not a criticism in any way, shape, or form. But it feels like this coming weekend is going to be a bit of a kind of reintroduction to, hey, this is the face of our football program once again. Here's Matt Campbell. He'll be at the Jordan Center for the wrestling meet tomorrow for Penn State and Nebraska. He'll be dropping the puck and obviously be there for the Penn State-Michigan State hockey game on Saturday. I'm excited. I mean, a lot of other things I'm excited about for the weekend, but I'm just excited to kind of see him start to build that connection with the fit. I think obviously any coach, any program needs to have. I think it's going to be fun for him. I hope it's fun for him and his family this weekend. And I hope that the fans enjoy it too, because one of the things that I do think makes the college experience still a little different and hopefully in many ways a little more enjoyable than the pro experience, and I'm talking for the athletes and the coaches involved, is that you do have that interconnection with the different programs, athletes from the different programs. Mingle, they get to know each other, and I think having your football coach at, when James Franklin went to the wrestling matches, I mean, it made it a bigger deal. It was this is cool. And I think, same thing with hockey. Say again, any event where the sport of your university has this head coach showing up, it just is going to make those events have a bigger feel. Not that wrestling at the Jordan Center or certainly hockey at Beaver Stadium doesn't already have a huge big time feel to it.
Yeah, I think that's right. And to your point, I was at now I'm blanking on who we were playing, but it was a men's hockey game probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago where Campbell was up in the box and he got introduced to the crowd.
Okay.
Kind of became a little bit infamous because they caught Taylor Mauser just canning a beer in the background. They put Matt Campbell up on the Jumbotron, and in the background there was the offensive coordinator just chugging a beer, which I mean probably did more to build good fan base than putting the head coach on the Jumbotron. But other than that little moment, I can't, as you said, I can't think actually of any other opportunity that the fan base has had a chance to see the new head football coach, which is totally understandable when you consider how crazy January is in college football now.
Yeah, I think it'll just be one of the many fun things, hopefully, about the upcoming weekend here in Happy Valley. And yeah, it is. We've been talking a lot about how football obviously has always been a big draw, remains a big draw here for folks to this area. But the importance of having weekends like this, and now all of the other things, I mean, between the Happy Valley Adventure Bureau and just the community overall, trying to embrace, not trying, it is embracing the idea of this being a tourist destination and trying to create more opportunities for and more reasons for folks to visit this area, and certainly having a weekend like this. I mean, Goon was talking about it, they have some people that'll be coming in that would have absolutely no reason otherwise to step foot on Penn State's campus anytime, let alone in late January. And yeah, maybe you look around and say, oh, man, I'll bet this place would be kind of neat in the summer there. Oh, look at that minor league baseball stadium over there. Oh, look at and you start to.
If you like it now when there's piles of snow absolutely everywhere. Imagine what it's like when it's 85 degrees and sunny.
How about it? And so, again, dress accordingly. The one thing I like, I think Penn State's is a little worried about it too. I mean, it is going to be dangerously cold outside. I mean, the two things about it, yes, common sense, dress appropriately, load up on the layers, but also if you get there and you realize, hey, I am not layered up enough, I need warmed up, go get warmed up. There's going to be places all over, but let folks know that, yeah, you know what, I need to take care of myself here. This is really cool. I want to see the end of the game, but yeah, let's not do something silly in terms of our health here over the weekend. Just my little a parental cautionary note going into the weekend. Because you want this to just be a great experience for everybody, and it should be a great experience for everybody. It is such a cool opportunity that the fans and the program have here this weekend. And I mean, with that, again, all of these Penn State programs, I really do hope some fans. It's not going to be obviously the 67,000, but man, I hope some of you do go down to the multi-sport facility and check out the track and field team. I hope some folks do get over to Rec Hall to check out the men's volleyball or the men's gymnastics. There's just, again, a lot of other really cool sports, tennis, swimming, and diving, all of these things that are going on this weekend. If you get a chance, why not check it out and just experience something a little different along with, the wrestling or the hockey or the basketball.
Yeah, and to your earlier point, Ironhead, I can echo Goon's thoughts that we are going to see at our place a crowd almost as big as the biggest one we got during football season. So we're going to have a good number of people staying with us. God bless them trying to find a place to park with the piles of snow everywhere. That's going to be one interesting challenge for everybody hosting visitors in my neighborhood this weekend. But I will tell you, too, one of the things that I actually rarely see during the football season is that some of my friends who have families now actually went out and got a hotel room. Now, normally, a lot of my friends who have kids, and certainly multiple kids especially, I hear one of two things. One of them is I'm just, I can't find a hotel room, right? They're all booked. It's already booked up.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to bring my 3 kids to sleep on your floor along with all our arrested development friends who are still just basically drunks in their late 30s and early 40s, which is understandable. The other point is, they don't want to pay the bills, whatever. It's too much of a hassle and it's going to be too crowded and blah, blah, blah. There seem to be none of those concerns. I think the hotel rooms are a little bit more available, potentially a little bit more reasonably priced. I don't know. I live here, as do you, Ironhead, so I don't price out hotel rooms. But I was shocked when some of my friends who have like multiple young kids were sending me messages saying, hey, I'll be there. And don't worry, I'm not staying at your place. I got a hotel room and I can't wait. So this really has, I think, opened up a new pipeline for tourism in the football offseason, which, as you know, has been one of the great economic challenges of Happy Valley forever.
Yeah, and I will say, we've talked about this before. I really, to go back to basketball for a moment, I do feel for Mike Rhodes, because while I do think there is genuine support from the coaches for the other programs here. It is just really hard when you're starting from where Mike Rhodes had to start from with this basketball team. And, we've been talking a lot about the financial component here. And again, I think folks are willing to splurge for a big weekend here. Or maybe, if you're a big wrestling fan, it's like, oh, it'd be cool to check out the Big Ten championships since they're going to be at Penn State. The average family can maybe pick a weekend here or there. It's like, okay, we're going to make this a lot of fun. But when you are making your economic decisions, right, and none of this stuff is cheap anymore. Maybe it never was, but I mean, it really is not cheap now. Well, all right, do I want to spend my money on watching a basketball program that is struggling, or do I want to jump on this hockey bandwagon where they have a Frozen Four team, the hottest name in all of college hockey, a coach who's just lovable as could be and fun, and this team that just seems to be rocking and rolling, or a wrestling program that is a dynasty. I forget, I think it was Penn State Wrestling Room or one of the places retweeted, and I don't even know who the guy was from a couple of years ago, but he's like, there is the tweet was something along the lines of, there are good teams, there are great teams, there are dynasties, and then there's whatever the hell Penn State Wrestling is right now. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, it is, even by dynastic standards, crazy. But so the difficulty is if you're trying to build a program in your Mike Rhodes, again, there's only so much money and for that matter, time to go around. It's like, well, I could be part of this raucous atmosphere at Pagola Ice Arena. I can be part of the crowd that's watching the maybe the greatest sports dynasty of our generation, or I can go check out a basketball team that's trying to figure out a way to win a Big Ten game. And it's just, it is tough. And I see people every now and then, it's like, oh, this is embarrassing. Only X thousand at the Jordan Center for tonight's game. And I'm like, well, hold on a second. First of all, it's a Wednesday night game. And if folks are working, right, to fill the Jordan Center, you're relying on folks not just here in Center County. You're relying on people coming in from an hour, 2 hours away. Well, if it's a Wednesday night and it's an 8 o'clock tip-off and you work the next day, that's asking a lot. And again, if you're sitting there trying to choose, you're just a sports fan in general, it's like, well, yeah, I could do that and be sleepy the rest of the week at work and, probably not be in a good mood after a loss. Or I could come up on the weekend on a Friday night, get home late, but I can sleep in Saturday and watch that hockey team, maybe win a big game against another Big Ten power, or watch a Penn State Wrestling team pitch another shutout, or, get a big win against another top 5 or top 10 program. Again, not Mike Rhodes' fault, just circumstances. But I also can't really fault fans for not packing the Jordan Center for a program that right now is struggling to find wins when there is the type of competition within the athletic department for that purchasing power available. And again, it does not help when you're putting these games on. And again, none of that is Mike Rhodes' fault. But if a Wednesday night or a Thursday night is tough for fans that aren't. I mean, it's not easy for fans that are in the immediate area. I mean, that's still a relatively late night, especially if you have kids and you're trying to take care of them and get them off to school and stuff. But man, especially if you're trying to get folks in from Altoona or Harrisburg or things like that, it's a really tall order when the product again is what it is right now.
Sure. Let me throw a couple other things out at you, Ironhead. Number one, I think, and I assume you'll agree, the college hockey product, especially in the Big Ten right now, I think is pretty high quality. I feel like it's fast and fun and entertaining.
Yes.
And one thing to keep in mind when you think about that is that comparing it to college basketball, which, and I don't know, maybe I'm just a little curmudgeonly about it, and I don't watch a whole ton of games from across the country, so maybe I'm just missing the good ones. But I feel like the product quality in college basketball is like so-so. It varies quite a bit from night to night and team to team. But the other issue is that if you've been watching for any period of time, I do feel like the narratives and the storylines around players and the overall product quality was probably better than it is right now. I think college basketball maybe has suffered in the transfer portal era like none of the other major college sports in terms of it being diluted and the product quality being affected. And so if you're like me and you remember a time when you could follow who was on a team's roster from year to year, and now that's totally gone, you have to get over the hump of, well, you just need to adjust to the new normal. For people who are following college hockey, I think in most of the Big Ten footprint, either they've been a diehard niche fan base who followed the team for a long time, or they've just come to it in the last several years because, for all the folks who were those longtime diehards who say that Penn State, quote unquote, ruined the sport, for the majority of people, it was the addition of Penn State varsity hockey that allowed there to be a Big Ten ice hockey conference, which I always insisted would be huge for the sport because what allowed you to do was take all these big brands who people know from football and basketball and slap that on ice hockey in a way that people could put their brains around it. They would say, okay, I'm going to see hockey series between Michigan State, Penn State, Ohio State. I know these teams. And so there's no hump to overcome with changes in the sport like you have in college basketball. I just showed up sight unseen as a casual fan sometime in the last 10 years and discovered a product that's really good. And then to go along with that, as you know, there probably aren't, I guess, as many numerically wrestling fans as there are probably basketball, just in terms of the sport, or even ice hockey fans across Pennsylvania. And I don't know, there might be. It's probably closer than some people would guess. But no matter what it is, it doesn't matter, because I was just saying the other day, I don't know that there's a more intense, passionate fan base for any sport than wrestling has. And if I look at the geographic region that feeds Penn State's fan base, both in terms of who is in proximity to come to State College for games during the offseason and who comprises the student body, you know, obviously you're pulling from all across the Commonwealth, and then you're looking at Jersey, New York, the DMV. Well, just think about the sports fandom in general. Pittsburgh doesn't have an NBA team. Buffalo doesn't have an NBA team. The Knicks mostly stink. The 76ers mostly stink. The Nets always stink. The Wizards are terrible. Then I look at it and I say, okay, I got Ovechkin and the Capitals down in D.C. I've got the Devils who won a bunch of Stanley Cups. You've got the Rangers, the Sabres, the Penguins, the Flyers. I would not be shocked if you polled the average Penn State ticket buyer and asked them to just rank their favorite sports, if wrestling and ice hockey wouldn't be really competitive with just the number of people in terms of where they were ranking them versus basketball. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just all the things you listed. It's that I think our fan base in general is comprised of people who who definitely, when you compared them against a nationwide population, are much bigger wrestling and hockey fans than you're going to find in a lot of other parts of the country.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. And, you know, and with this year's team, Booch also, you cannot help. And, you know, it's one of those things. It's obviously a great feather in the cap, to use a Barry Gormanism, great feather in the cap for the program that Janikonen Niederhauser is having the success he is, and getting the Penn State basketball name and brand out there a little bit. But man, if he was back this season, Booch, and playing, I'm not sitting here telling you that then we're talking about Penn State as a Final Four team. But come on, man. Like they're winning a couple of these close games, and it's a difference maker. There's a different feel around this team because you have somebody that's kind of leading the way and taking some of the pressure off of Caden Mingo early. And it's just a whole different dynamic. And again, I'm not sitting here trying to make excuses for Mike Rhodes, but I mean, I think they really thought at the end of last year that the strong probability was that Niederhauser would be back for this season for them. And I think they were kind of incorporating that as part of their plans. And I get it. I mean, in this day and age, you can't be counting on anything. All of that, fine. I'm just saying that was a pretty big blow on top of everything else we're talking about. I really am just hoping. I really do think Mike Rhodes is the right guy. I think he will get this where it needs to be, but it's going to be a process. And they, you know, the step one after this year, and obviously step one is going to be, hey, let's find some wins and finish up relatively strongly this year so that fans can buy into the notion that, yeah, you know what, this thing is getting closer to turning around and to being a, you know, really good, viable product. But then it is going to be, man, let's keep these guys that we know can be big-time contributors moving forward here and build on with another strong recruiting class. And if, again, a lot of if there, but if all of that can happen, I really do think that next year you can start to see some of the fruits of the labors here of Mike Rhoades and this coaching staff. But again, it is a tall mountain to climb here for Penn State basketball. Always has been and still is.
Yeah, and your point about Niederhauser just sort of reinforces what I said earlier about the product quality. How many even casual Penn State sports fans do you think don't know who Tyler Warren and Abdul Carter are, right? Like any time you have an athlete go in the first round of a draft for a sport, that is a big, big deal. The guy was only here a year. He had been at other places before he got to Penn State, so he passed through, had a good season. I would bet the vast majority of our fans have no idea who he is, or even that Penn State produced a first-round draft pick this past season, or that he's playing for the Clippers. Nobody here is following that team or knows anything about them.
True.
And then he's gone, right? And so to me, as like when I think about the Penn State teams I enjoyed following over the years, always, whether it was, Lamar Stevens or the Crispin brothers teams or whomever, I got to watch those teams mature and grow up and work their way into contention over a series of seasons. And so it gave a little time for that familiarity to build up and to, for you to get some sense of momentum. And that's one thing that you just don't have in the sport anymore. And when I am, to your point, thinking about how am I going to spend my entertainment dollar and just how am I going to allocate the limited bandwidth I have? And Penn State's got this unbelievable juggernaut on the wrestling mat. And now they've got a number 1 overall pick potentially in the hockey draft, and a team that just went to the Frozen Four and has a really fun, exciting product to check out. It's just, there's only so much to go around. And when I'm making informed decisions about how I'm going to split up those limited resources, as you said, how can you blame any fan when they put wrestling and hockey higher in the pecking order?
Yeah, it's just, again, a tough spot right now for Mike Rhoades and that program to
and for anyone in basketball at Penn State, because if I'm thinking about this from Pat Kraft's perspective, there is nothing incentivizing him to allocate more of the athletic department's limited resources toward making basketball competitive, because we're already drawing so much. We're going to get 67,000 people in Beaver Stadium on Saturday. We're going to fill the Bryce Jordan Center on Friday. There are going to be a handful, Ironhead, of hardy souls. So I'll be looking around to see you tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock for the women's game they're playing in there. And so the question is, if I am not being in any way meaningfully punished by my customer base for not investing in men's and women's basketball, I got to pay for the football roster still. Why am I going to do it?
No, that is also a fair point. All right. We're going to take a timeout here and be back with a final segment. Chris Buchanani, the Deer Booch, filling in for Goon for the final hour today. And we are back with that final wrap here from Quaker Steak and Lube in mere minutes on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fall.
From decorating the tree to family dinners, gift exchanges, and get-togethers, the holidays are filled with traditions. Why not start a new one this year with a Kia during the Season of New Tradition sales event at Lion Country Kia? No matter where you're traveling this holiday season, the spacious 7-seater 2025 Kia Telluride can get you there. Lion Country Kia has 16 available with as low as 0.9% APR for up to 60 months or up to $2,000 in Kia finance rebates. But that's not all. Lion Country Kia has a great selection of Kia Sorentos, Sportages, Seltos, and more. There's 84 vehicles ready to move. And many have Kia's Season of New Tradition sales event retail bonus cash as high high as $1,000. Happy holidays from the staff at Lion Country Kia, 1334 Driveover Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again.
The Fox, your sports radio. Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority. WFXS America. 98.7 The Fox State College.
And from the comments section, you're listening to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here on our Thursday afternoon. And Fox Sports coming up here at 4 o'clock on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox. By the way, great girls basketball game last night for St. Joseph's. They absolutely hammered Williamsburg. Do want to let you know we will have all of the postseason high school wrestling coverage for you. District 6 AA tournament will lead things off here in February, but we'll have that tournament, the AAA tournament, and the AAA and girls tournament will be combined this year, and then we'll have the live coverage of the AA regionals, the Southwest regionals the following week, and then the PIAA state championships that first weekend in March. So we will have all of that high school postseason wrestling action rolling your way here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox, and looking forward to all of that. And huge thank you to Todd and Norm Brown for providing the coverage of high school sports here over the winter on the airwaves. again, a very busy, very exciting weekend in sports for Penn State coming up. Continue to try to navigate the ever-changing landscape that is collegiate athletics, but weekends like this are just fun, and then hopefully folks can just take in some of the action and enjoy the competition, and then we can get back to complaining about everything after the weekend, and try to solve all of the world's problems at that point. But you knew there were going to be some logistical challenges, Booch. Keeping the ice the right temperature, who knew that you were going to have to really worry to the degree that they are about keeping that warm enough. But that really is the issue here. And again, there is a high school game tonight at 6:15. And I do wonder if part of this, and it's not that I'm not saying they're not caring about the high school game or the women's hockey game tomorrow, but I am wondering if part of that is, hey, let's just make sure we're getting this right so that any issues that may arise, we know for sure how to deal with by the time the men's game and the national TV audience tunes in here on Saturday afternoon.
I think that's a reasonable conclusion and probably a prudent decision, right, on the part of the athletic department. I mean, it's like it's not like the earth is going to open up and swallow these hockey teams or anything, Ironhead. But it boggles the mind when you think of all the different variables that go into making an event like this work in general, and certainly work for the first time you ever try it. Keeping the ice warm enough was way, way low on the list of priorities, especially when you consider the Winter Classic this year was in Miami.
Yeah,
so
just nuts.
That I can wrap my brain around. We got to make sure the ice doesn't melt because we're holding a hockey game in the Winter Classic in the southern tip of Florida. It does not compute for me that we're in central Pennsylvania at the end of January and the ice might be too cold.
Yeah, it is, and they've been clearing the snow out of the stands after the foot plus we got on, I guess, Sunday into Monday here, and so I think they've got that pretty well handled. Been a lot of work by a lot of people to get the stadium cleaned out so that they can have the 67,000 or so, maybe even more, when it's all said and done, that'll be on hand to watch Michigan State and Penn State on Saturday. Did have a couple people ask, and I think, was it Onward State? Somebody did put out the, and if it wasn't Onward State, I apologize to whoever it was, but somebody did put out the top 10 all-time hockey attendances, and this is very likely going to be the third highest attended game behind the Michigan had over 100,000. I think it was over 104,000 for Michigan State game. And then Michigan State had, I think it was 85,000-ish for a Michigan State-Michigan game. But I think the next highest was Wisconsin for an outdoor game, had like 56,000, somewhere in that neighborhood. So this pretty definitively will be the third most attended hockey game in history, which is pretty darn cool at the end of the day that Penn State will have that opportunity to put that type of mark into the overall hockey record book somewhere. But, this Penn State team has been playing really well as of late, Booch, and I think it would be a big deal just because it's an outdoor game. It's been a long time coming, seeing this at Beaver Stadium. But the fact that you have a Michigan State team that is ranked second, a Penn State team that is ranked fifth but is coming on like gangbusters, I mean, does make, like, that's the dream scenario, right? You wanted this to be a top 5 matchup. It's why they picked Michigan State, obviously. But the fact that both teams have kind of lived up to the preseason expectations here is part of why the adrenaline is going to be flowing as much as it is here for Saturday's game. And again, I think fans, and I'll be curious to see just how many Michigan State fans, because I get the feeling it's going to be a good number that come in again just for the experience, and they've seen it before. I mean, again, they've hosted it, they've been at Ann Arbor, but that's still cool. Outdoor hockey in a football stadium that's just fun. I mean, you say that, and it doesn't matter where it is or who the teams are that are playing. It's like, oh yeah, that sounds cool. That's something I'd like to check out if I can.
Yeah, weather notwithstanding, it's a pretty easy drive to get from East Lansing to State College. You spend most of your time on I-80. And yeah, it's another good hockey market, Michigan. As we discussed, there are just pockets of the country where the sport has a really terrific following, and Pennsylvania and Michigan are both examples of them. It does stink. I mean, just really devastating. Yeah, maybe devastating is too strong a word, but it's really unfortunate that Charlie Serrato is going to be injured for the remainder of the regular season, because he was a really important part of this team. And what was frustrating to me early in the year was that, Jackson Smith was hurt. You saw some other guys come and go with injuries. And I just wanted to see what this team looked like at full strength. And we've gotten a glimpse of it over the last few weeks. And it's very exciting, especially because McKenna really seems to be settling into that alpha role. I think people maybe didn't appreciate what a big transition it was going to be for a 17-year-old, no matter how talented, to make the transition to playing with, full-grown men. There are freshmen in college hockey who are like 23 years old, which now maybe doesn't seem so weird in the other sports as it would have even a few years ago. But all of that was coming together, and then the news comes out this week that Serrato is going to be done for the rest of the regular season. You do cross your fingers. It sounds like maybe they can get him back for postseason play, which I think is big. But, man, it just frustrates me, Ironhead, when you have a team with this much talent on it that is not able to get all its best players out on the ice because of injury issues. So I'm sorry he's not going to get the opportunity to play in this game, and that we're not going to get to watch him play, because he was a really important part of this team's season so far, especially kind of sharing a lot, handling a lot of the load and keeping things on track earlier in the year when they were trying to figure out how all those pieces were going to fit together.
Yeah. That's a great point. And I was sorry to hear that. I was kind of hoping maybe he'd be back this week, and Guy kind of went the exact opposite direction with the news at the press conference earlier this week. So that is tough. The overall experience I just think is going to be so cool. I won't be up there again. My kiddo has a wrestling tournament of his own, so we'll be down at that, but certainly the timing, we're hoping to get back to at least see the end of that game. And just again, what an experience and what an opportunity here for this area to again just be able to showcase even in the dead of winter all that this area has to offer. And again, just a whole lot for sports fans to choose from over the course of the weekend. A couple of other just sports notes here. Does it not feel like the Cleveland Browns can just never get out of their own way? And listen, I'm not going to sit here and definitively tell you this isn't going to work out, but don't you instinctively know this isn't going to work out? Like they just never seem to. I said from the day they fired Stefanski, I think they are really going to look back and regret that decision, because I think that guy knows how to coach, and I think he's going to go on and have a lot of success in Atlanta. And I just don't think the Browns are going to make any headway here anytime soon. Anyway, that one was a head scratcher to me. But a lot of the Browns' decisions have been head scratchers over these many years.
I saw a good little study somebody did where they just put in they fed all the facts of the Browns franchise since they've come back into the league in 1999, into Chat GPT. I may have even told you about this before. It basically broke the robot. Like, it just couldn't process the number of just statistically unlikely events all coalescing in one team. And I feel like if you are the Browns, you have to be realistic about that's your identity. That's the way you are going to be perceived, as this snake-bitten, backwards organization. And that your job, as they found out when they started to shop it around, especially when you're competing against 10 other of the 32 franchises, is not an attractive landing spot. And so kind of Ironhead, like I was a little just bemused several years ago when they had a quarterback who was 1 year removed from taking them to a playoff win, something that never happens in Cleveland, and over the Steelers, no less, in Pittsburgh, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry to rub some salt in that wound, but I think that was right.
That's okay.
The point being,
I will get over
Cleveland, if you take a guy number 1 overall and he does that for your team, to ship him out for a bag of hammers a year later is confusing to me. And I kind of feel the same way about Stefanski. Like, I get it. You wish you would have won more games, but be realistic about who you've been for practically 30 years now. And really, they were bad before the team went away. You've heard all this talk about Belichick's tenure in Cleveland this week because of the Hall of Fame stuff. He only won one playoff game. They've been terrible forever.
Yeah.
Essentially, the majority of my life, the Browns have been bad. And when you have a guy in Stefanski, who everybody thinks very highly of, was immediately a top candidate at a bunch of the other jobs that were open, all of which were better than yours, and you had him in-house, what are you doing? This is the way bad teams stay bad, and nobody is worse more consistently than Cleveland. It boggles the mind, even the artificial mind, apparently.
Yes. It is. It's just bonkers. Couple of other things, just a couple of local notes. Before I get to that, the Bill Belichick thing, to me, Booch, at the end of the day, and I know everybody is weighing in on it, to me, it's much ado about nothing, because at the end of the day, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. You don't get like a big star over your bust in the hall if you're a first ballot Hall of Famer. You're all in there together. He's going to end up in whatever kind of statement we made. I know it's big in the moment, and I get it as far as it goes, but like, in 10 years from now, does it really matter whether Belichick went in the class of 2026 or the class of 2027? I don't think it does. And I know in the moment, and I know, I think Bill's feeling slighted in all of this. He's going to go in, and, people are still going to hash over whether he was a cheater and how great of a coach he was. He was an outstanding coach. There's just no way around that. I also think the Patriots clearly did cheat on at least a couple of occasions. I mean, that's also pretty clear.
They were fined and they lost.
He is a Hall of Famer,
so the NFL basically ruled them guilty in that situation.
We know that they're guilty.
Yeah. Did you read the column from the one voter who did not vote for Belichick explaining his reasoning?
I did not.
Yeah, okay. So this is very interesting. I think it'll be especially relevant to Pittsburgh Steelers fans because of the way coaches get voted in. So I think maybe some people don't understand that there's not just like a general population of potential Hall of Fame candidates. There's two buckets that they put the candidates into. There's the players, and then there's the catch-all for everyone else. And that category, which includes owners, coaches, the John Madden, contributors to the game. And then all of these like senior candidates who missed their initial window as players, but many people feel just were overlooked and should be considered. And the problem there is that there are 5 candidates and up to 3 can get in. And this guy, I'm forgetting I think he was from Cleveland, but I'm forgetting exactly who wrote the column. But everything he said made a whole lot of sense. He said, you have to understand with these senior players, most of them only have like one shot. Their candidacies build momentum, and then they bubble up, and they already missed their chance probably to be rightfully enshrined when they were up as players. And then they end up, maybe they got one shot as the senior pool. And this year, it just so happened that the three, and you remember, you can only vote for three. So the five people in this category were Robert Kraft, Bill Belichick, both of whom are assumed to be slam dunks to get in the future. And then three of these senior players, Ken Anderson, the Bengals quarterback who put up some of the best passing numbers in the 1980s at a time when teams weren't throwing the ball, Roger Craig, who was a running back on the 1980s all-decade team, the first 1,000 player in the NFL and has, 3-4 Super Bowl rings with the 49ers, and L.C. Greenwood. A lot of people who believe, even though there are so many other Steel Curtain Hall of Famers, a guy who got overlooked. And he said, I just looked at it and I said, I believe very strongly in the Hall of Fame case for all three of those players. I really strongly believe Kenny Anderson, Roger Craig, and L.C. Greenwood belong in the Hall of Fame. And I also think this is the last or one of the very last shots, quite possibly the last shot for all three of them. Meanwhile, Bill Belichick's going to get in next year and it's going to be a slam dunk. I've only got 3 votes for these 5 guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure I vote to get all 3, to try to get all 3 of these players who have one more chance to go into Canton. And I believe all 3 of them belong there. I'm voting there. And when you lay it out like that, he said it had nothing to do with Spygate or, his 27-year-old girlfriend or any of this. None of it. It was just all about the game theory of how do I use my 3 votes. And that, I thought, made a whole heck of a lot of sense.
Oh, there's always more to the story. I have to dig around and get facts in there. See how you ruin it. Real quick, just a couple of local notes, too. There will be a dedication ceremony tomorrow evening at the Penns Valley High School gymnasium. They're going to be naming that gym in honor of Joe Hammaker, who was an extraordinary wrestling coach back in the 60s, I think maybe into the early 70s, but in the 60s for Penns Valley, led them to a couple of undefeated seasons. That is really cool. I'm really glad they are using that vehicle to honor Joe Hammaker, and I know his family is very excited, and Joe will be there tomorrow night. I think 7:15. It's going to be between the girls and boys basketball games that they'll make that dedication. And then just did want to let people know in the State College Area School District on Saturday, starting at 10:45, they'll open the doors, and then there will be an event that runs from 11 to 12:30. This is with the National Girls and Women in Sports Day, but this is open to all elementary school students. All kinds of opportunities to play games and do events with different State College girls team athletes. There will be face painting with the girls basketball team, a coloring station. There will be a dribbling station with the girls soccer, trivia hosted by the Pride Student Spirit Group. Basketball dribbling with the girls basketball team. The girls swimming team will be hosting a photo booth. There's bracelet making hosted by the girls soccer team. So if you're interested in that, again, that'll be 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. this Saturday at the Delta building, the State College North building. If you have elementary school students and you don't have something else already going on in this busy sports weekend, you may want to check that out. Booch, thanks for filling in for the final
pleasure.
hour today. Appreciate it. Enjoy the hockey game and enjoy the weekend. And that goes for everybody out there. If you are heading into Happy Valley, really do hope you just have a fun weekend. Get to hang out with some friends, maybe make some new friends, and root on the Penn State sports teams to victories. And Goon and I will be back on Tuesday with another edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead Show. Until then, be good and be safe.
From decorating the tree to family dinners, gift exchanges, and get-togethers, the holidays are filled with traditions. Why not start a new one this year with a Kia during the Season of New Tradition sales event at Lion Country Kia? No matter where you're traveling this holiday season, the spacious 7-seater 2025 Kia Telluride can get you there. Lion Country Kia has 16 available with as low as 0.9% APR for up to 60 months or up to $2,000 in Kia finance rebates. But that's not all. Lion Country Kia has a great selection of Kia Serenos, Sportages, Seltos, and more. There's 84 vehicles ready to move. And many have Kia's Season of New Tradition sales event retail bonus cash as high as $1,000. Happy holidays from the staff at Lion Country Kia, 1334 Driveaway Street off Shiloh Road behind Sam's Club, State College.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXX, once again.
The Fox,
your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority. WFXS America. 98.7.